Uh, Morning. My name is MShiner, and I'll be presenting about Parks and Recreation. My first experience with Parks and Recreation came in third grade when my parents signed me up for the FC17 Winter Basketball League. And back in third grade, I had never played basketball before, so I was hands down the worst player on the team. I may have scored once all season. I don't think I did. But even though I wasn't the best player and didn't score a whole lot, I still remember all the memories and friends we made that year. In fact, I loved playing so much that I made sure I played every year after that. And every year after that, I enjoyed playing more and more friends. However, in the past like 3 or 4 years, I've noticed that a lot of my friends have started to stop playing. Participation kind of decreased, which eventually led me to my research topic. My research was about the recent decrease in participation of locally offered sports such as football, basketball, and baseball, and why this happened. For my research, I mainly wanted to focus on decreased participation as people got older. So when I was doing my research, I found that in ages 5 through 11, participation tended to increase and stay at a fairly high rate. But once children turned 11 years old, participation steadily decreased over the next 5 or 6 years. And the main reason for this is known as sampling. Sampling is very common. It's basically when a kid is like 5 or 6 years old, their parent puts them in like multiple activities. Like if you do football and fall, basketball and winter, soccer in the spring, just to keep their schedule going and try new things. And then after about 4 or 5 years of playing each, kids themselves kind of decide, I really like soccer a lot better than the other two. I'm a little better at soccer than the other two. I would rather just play soccer. So their parents take them out of the other activities they're doing and usually put them in recreational soccer and then club soccer so they can play year round. And it's really hard to stop sampling because you can't really tell the parent, we know your kid likes doing other stuff better than this, but we still want to, so you should sign them. And the concept of sampling really helped me mold my community service, which my community service, I worked with Bannock County Parks and Recreation Department. Me and my dad were coaches for a 9 and 10-year-old team in the basketball league. And at the beginning of the year, we both decided that this season we weren't really going to focus on wins and losses, or that we wanted to be able to teach the kids the fundamentals that they would need to do if they wanted to play basketball when they get older. Because like past years, we've seen coaches in like 9 and 10-year-old leagues only care about winning and losing and didn't care about teaching the kids the game. And when the kids got older and got to that like 11, 13 range, a lot of them started to drop out because they weren't taught the basics back then, and they were already 2 steps behind everyone else and just didn't want to. So I really loved coaching the team because first off, they're 9 and 10-year-olds, so like they were really enthusiastic, really eager to learn, and it was really great to see them because since they're just learning the fundamentals now, like you're able to see their improvement drastically over the course of the year. Like every single player on our team, I can say improved over the course of the season. Whether it was like one player we had, he shot kind of off, like he turned to the side when he shot the ball, and we worked with him on that practice after practice. And by the last game, being able to see that he was shooting it correctly, had the proper form, so that when he got older, he'd be able to shoot correctly and not screw up his shot. Really made me happy. And also, it was like with a lot of the players, the one thing that they had to work on was their confidence. Because a lot of them could do it, they just didn't know they could. So at the beginning of the year, there was a lot of times where they would be like, if they were right under the basket, they would catch the ball and they'd be turning to shoot it, and they just wouldn't do it because they didn't believe in themselves enough to actually shoot it at second guessing themselves. But by the end of the year, whenever they turned and caught the ball, they just fired that thing up and got it. They all didn't go in, but it's a lot more than you want they to shoot. Um, Honestly, my community service really introduced me to a love for the game. Because I've always loved basketball, but I've only really ever loved basketball because I played basketball and I was on the court and I loved playing and being competitive. And this really showed me that I can still have a love for the game even though I'm not on the court, which ultimately led to my internship. Right. I also did my internship with Bannock County Parks and Rec. My mentor was Jonathan Pace. He was a program specialist in charge of the SCPR basketball league, and together we helped like set up the league. Like we ran evaluations. We set up the teams to make sure they were fair, and we kept the schedule, scores, and playoff seedings. And so at the beginning of my internship, it was more hands-on because we were setting up the league. We were working together to help like kind of create we have to set it back up every year. But once the season started, my internship was mostly just putting in the scores from that weekend on Monday, putting them in the program, and then making the game sheets so that they keep the scores that weekend on Thursday. And I really loved my internship, but the one thing that really stuck with me was Rep Desk. And Rep Desk is this program that's used by a lot of recreational departments to help store and manage their information. And it really helped me because I didn't have to have everything on paper and fill everything out again. I had a basis, but it's also really helpful for the community because if you're a parent and you want to sign your kid up, you used to have to find one of these program guides and get there we go, that page out of the back, fill out that entire page, get the money, write a check, staple it, and mail or turn it in. And if you wanted to play a sport in the spring and another sport in the fall, you had to fill that entire page out again and drive there again. And it was very time consuming. With Direct Desk, you're just able to go to the website, create an account, put in your information once, and then you have all your information. All you ever have to do is just click on what you want for the participation. And it's also helpful for the Parks and Rec department itself because I remember when I first got there, this was the first year they used Rec Desk. Last year in the basketball league, it was a lot of chaos at the beginning of the year because they had to do everything over. They had to see who played last year, see who's new, get evaluations from the year before. And with Rec Desk, they just put all that information in the computer, and they already had that all there. So when I signed up to play this year, my information was on the computer. They could just click on my name, click on the team I was on, and that's all they had to do. Didn't have to find all the math to make sure team lead. And okay. And what I really learned from this experience is I honestly really loved coaching. Coming into it, I thought, okay, this is going to be pretty fun. It's coaching a team. It's a team of 9 and 10-year-olds. They're probably going to get off topical a lot. Just kind of want to shoot the ball for an hour. But first practice, I show up, and we may have had all 7. I think we had 6 that first legit practice we had. And I remember calling to the center, and I had 7 sets of eyes looking above me, eager to learn, eager to find out what they wanted to do. And I was really just surprised by how much they wanted to learn and how much they actually did grow over the course of the season, how much I was able to see. And it was really, I wouldn't say life-changing for it, but I just really loved how I was able to affect their game and going this year and going forward. And it really it made me have a different perspective on my coaches that I've had past year. I've been coach for a while, but with my project, things I would do differently, I really wouldn't do much differently. I loved my internship, loved my community service. If I could do one thing, I'd probably go back and get past me to start doing this earlier. It was really fun, but I'm not going to be able to do this next year because I won't be here. So I might just have to settle with coming down every couple weekends and help my dad out. But honestly, the overall experience was just amazing for me. I don't think I could have picked a better topic. And tips and advice kind of ties into that. You want to pick a topic you love. At first, I was going to do psychology because I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. I might just do this and see if I like it. But I couldn't get anything because it's very confidential, so they didn't want me patient confidentiality, so they wouldn't let me. And so I was kind of doing damage control. I was like, okay, what can I do now? And I already knew a lot of people at the Parks and Rec department from my dad and being a part of the program for so long that I just decided, hey, I like basketball. Might as well try to do something with basketball. And it was probably the greatest decision I made because, especially community service and internship, you don't want it to feel like you're actually there doing a job. It's boring. I honestly loved what I was doing. It didn't really feel like I was working much because it's what I wanted for a while. And oh yeah, of course, don't procrastinate. I almost procrastinated a little too long. Wouldn't be able to coach, but luckily I had someone who got me in. Well, 2 people. And this fall I'll be attending Virginia Tech. I'm currently undecided, but the one thing I do know is that I am trying to become a manager to the boys basketball team so that I can kind of
stick with it?
I didn't really find anything in my research saying that they might stick with full sports if they get the basics. But I mostly wanted to make sure it's I coach the basics because I really like basketball, and I feel like they could really like basketball if they were taught the way I was taught when I was young. And I learned the basics to get better. And I figured if that was going to happen, maybe I could get it where one or two of them decided to specialize in basketball.
Were you able to get the 9 and 10-year-olds understand that their skill set related to
Um, it was kind of hard. Like we we definitely had one player on our team who like 100% cared about winning and losing. They were really sad whenever we lost, and we kind of had to take them aside and let them know that while it does kind of suck to lose, no one likes losing, but that it's more like at this stage, it's not just about winning